Killers of the Flower Moon is an upcoming American crime drama movie directed by Martin Scorsese and based on the non-fiction book of the same name by David Grann. The movie tells the true story of the Osage Indian murders that took place in Oklahoma during the 1920s, a series of brutal crimes that left the Osage Nation, one of the richest populations in the world, almost completely wiped out. With an all-star cast including Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Jesse Plemons, the movie is one of the most highly anticipated releases of the year. In this article, we will take a closer look at the Killers of the Flower Moon movie, the historical background of the Osage murders, the controversies faced during production, the cast and characters, and the critical reception upon release. Overview of Killers of the Flower Moon movie. The upcoming movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, is one of the most anticipated releases of the year. Directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, the movie tells the story of the Osage murders of the 1920s. Introduction to the movie. Based on the novel by David Grann, Killers of the Flower Moon is a crime drama set in Oklahoma in the 1920s. The story follows the investigation of a series of murders of wealthy Osage Nation members, who were killed for their oil rights. The murders became one of the FBI's first major homicide investigations. Background and inspiration of the story. David Grann's novel was inspired by real events that took place in Oklahoma in the 1920s. At the time, the Osage Nation had become incredibly wealthy due to oil reserves on their land. However, many members of the tribe began to die under mysterious circumstances, leading to an investigation that would uncover corruption, greed, and violence. Historical background of Osage murders. Osage murders overview. The Osage murders were a series of killings of Osage Nation members that occurred in the 1920s. At the time, the tribe had become incredibly wealthy due to oil reserves on their land. Many members of the tribe began to die under mysterious circumstances, leading to an investigation that would uncover corruption, greed, and violence. History of the Osage Nation. The Osage Nation is a Native American tribe that originated in the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys. In the 19th century, the tribe was forced to relocate to Oklahoma, where they eventually struck oil on their land. Oil reserves and wealth of the Osage Nation. The discovery of oil on Osage land in the early 20th century made the tribe incredibly wealthy. They became known as the richest people in the world, and many members of the tribe became millionaires. However, their wealth would also make them targets for violence and corruption. Cast and characters of Killers of the Flower Moon. Introduction to the cast of the movie. Killers of the Flower Moon features an all-star cast, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, and Jesse Plemons. Characters and their background in the movie. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Ernest Burkhart, a white man who marries into the Osage Nation and becomes involved in the murders. Robert De Niro plays local rancher and businessman William Hale, who is suspected of ordering the killings. Lily Gladstone plays Molly Burkhart, an Osage woman whose family is targeted by the murderers. Jesse Plemons plays Tom White, the lead FBI investigator on the case. Film production and direction. Pre-production and planning. Killers of the Flower Moon has been in development for several years, with Martin Scorsese set to direct and Eric Roth writing the screenplay. The movie is being produced by Apple Studios and Imperative Entertainment. Locations and set design. The movie was primarily filmed in Oklahoma, where the events of the story took place. The production team worked closely with the Osage Nation to ensure accuracy in the depiction of their history and culture. Directing and cinematography. Martin Scorsese is known for his exceptional direction and attention to detail, and Killers of the Flower Moon is expected to be no different. The movie is being shot by acclaimed cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto, who has previously worked with Scorsese on The Irishman and Silence. Controversies and challenges faced during filming. The making of Killers of the Flower Moon hasn't been a smooth ride for the production team. Along with the initial challenge of adapting a complex book into a movie, there were numerous other issues that came up, causing delay and controversy. Challenges with historical accuracy. The author of the book on which the film is based, David Grann, faced criticism for his portrayal of the Osage Nation and its history. Many Osage people felt that their story was misrepresented in the book and that it emphasizes the victimization of Native Americans rather than their resilience. This led to a demand for a more accurate and nuanced portrayal in the movie. Challenges with casting and representation. Another issue that the production team faced was the casting of non-Native actors in Native American roles. Despite the Osage Nation's demands for Native representation, the lead roles were given to Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, who both play non-Native characters. The producers have tried to justify their casting choices by citing the lack of Native actors with the same star power. Controversies with the Osage Nation. The Osage Nation's concerns about the film's portrayal of their history escalated when they found out that some members of the production team had visited the Osage County Museum, where a collection of Osage people's remains are on display. The nation deemed this visit disrespectful and inappropriate, leading them to cut ties with the production team and forcing them to seek new locations for filming. Release date and distribution of Killers of the Flower Moon. After numerous delays, the release date and distribution for Killers of the Flower Moon has finally been confirmed. Release date and platforms. The movie is set to release in spring 2022, with an exact date yet to be announced. It will be released in theaters, followed by an exclusive run on Apple TV+. Marketing and promotion strategies. The studio has kept marketing for the movie to a minimum, but with the release date drawing near, fans are anticipating more trailers and promotional material to give a glimpse into what to expect from the movie. Reception and critic reviews of the movie. While reviews of the movie are yet to come out, there is already a significant buzz surrounding its release. Initial reception and box office numbers. Given the star-studded cast and Martin Scorsese's directorial genius, it is expected that Killers of the Flower Moon will have a successful run at the box office. However, with the pandemic still ongoing, it remains to be seen how many people will be willing to watch it in theaters. Critic reviews and ratings. Critics are anticipating a powerful, gripping movie that delves into the dark history of the Osage Nation. However, many critics will be keeping a keen eye on how accurately the movie portrays the history and the people it's based on. Only time will tell if the movie lives up to its anticipation and expectation. In conclusion, Killers of the Flower Moon is a powerful and thought-provoking movie that sheds light on a dark chapter in American history. With its gripping storyline, outstanding performances, and stunning cinematography, the movie is a must-watch for anyone interested in crime dramas. As we await the official release of the movie, only time will tell how it will be received by audiences and critics alike. Nonetheless, it is clear that Killers of the Flower Moon is a movie that will be remembered for years to come. Frequently asked questions, FAQ. 1. When is Killers of the Flower Moon movie release date? The exact release date of Killers of the Flower Moon has not yet been officially announced. However, it is expected to premiere in 2022. 2. Who are the main cast members of Killers of the Flower Moon? The main cast members of Killers of the Flower Moon include Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, Lily Gladstone, and Tantu Cardinal, among others. 3. Is Killers of the Flower Moon based on a true story? Yes, Killers of the Flower Moon is based on the non-fiction book of the same name by David Grann, which tells the true story of the Osage Indian murders that took place in Oklahoma during the 1920s. 4. Who is the director of Killers of the Flower Moon? The director of Killers of the Flower Moon is Martin Scorsese, a highly acclaimed American filmmaker who has directed several acclaimed films over the years, including Goodfellas, The Departed, and The Wolf of Wall Street, among others.